What's up, guys? Instincts here, and today is Tuesday, which means that the E3 conferences are all finished, except from Nintendo, which I think is going on still at the moment. But all the other conferences, EA, Bethesda, Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, they are all finished. They all came out with new games, new gameplay trailers, news, consoles, and I'm gonna go through all of that with you guys today. So, starting off with EA. EA came and surprised everyone with some new features, some new games, some new features. They showed gameplay for things that we were expecting to see. So first of all, let's talk about Battlefield 1. Now obviously that's that everyone knew about Battlefield 1 beforehand. No one had seen any gameplay for it. We got to see some trailers with gameplay in it, and then after the conference they had live streams of people playing the game. I saw a bit of it and it looks really good. It looks really good. The graphics are amazing. The graphics look absolutely amazing, and you can tell. I mean, the big theme that that was across all of their games was good graphics, but they were all using the Frostbite engine. You see that at the beginning they were all promoting the Frostbite engine, so I think EA has taken the Frostbite engine and sort of used that to create all of the games that they've been creating that's coming out in the future. Now, Battlefield 1 is obviously set in World War One, and they even said how people weren't sure about the concept at first because they were skeptical, thinking that people might not enjoy it as much or that people didn't know about it. But it has been met with very good reception, and from what I've seen, it looks very good. Battlefield DICE are known for their massive multiplayer sort of maps. So massive multiplayer maps with people, foot soldiers, tanks, airplanes, the lot. So, and you could see that in the gameplay. You can see Battlefield has all the old school airplanes. It has tanks. It has foot soldiers. It has boats. It has everything you can think of, and it's just the world. The maps look absolutely massive, with so much going on. But Battlefield's always been a more tactical kind of game compared to Call of Duty, so it's not one of those fast-paced kind of shooters like Call of Duty is. And you know, they still sort of seem like they still seem like they're keeping true to that, which is good, because you know, I think that Battlefield appeals to those type of people that are looking for something that's going to be more strategic, that's going to be more sort of you know, okay, let's sit back, let's think about how we're going to approach the situation, let's work as a team. Whereas Call of Duty is sort of this your run and gun, run in, take out, fast pace, you know, type of shooter. So it's good that they've stuck, you know, they've stayed true to that. So they also showed Titanfall 2, sorry, and that also looks very good. Now, the first game was met with a lot of sort of mixed reviews. People like the concept and the idea behind the game. Very good idea behind the game in terms of, you know, getting the soldiers being the pilots of these big mechs, and they can it allows you a lot of freedom. It's sort of the first game that sort of brought that sort of agility into the shooters in terms of wall running and you know, all the stuff that a lot of games have brought into their multiplayers. But Titanfall was sort of certainly the first people to do that, and it's good to see that they've taken on board a lot of the criticism that they got from the first game. So one of the biggest criticism that they got was the fact that it didn't have a single player, and Battlefront had the exact same criticism because Star Wars Battlefront didn't have a single player either. I don't know what's going on with some of these games coming out and thinking that they can just, you know, that they can entice people with just a multiplayer, when a lot of people like to have that single player option. A lot of people love to have that single player option. So they came and said, Titanfall 2, we heard you with Titanfall. You enjoyed the game. There wasn't enough there to keep you playing, and they didn't have a single player. So now we've added a single player storyline, which they showed a trailer for, and that looked very interesting. Also, that looked very interesting. It seems like you have more of a relationship with your mecha than in the previous games. But they showed a lot of they showed a trailer for the storyline and showed a trailer for the multiplayer, and they talked about improvements in terms of giving you more customization in terms of the pilots and the mechs, more customization in multiplayer, and just trying to give talking about things that they're giving you things to do to keep playing. One of the biggest multiplayer franchises is Call of Duty. In terms of one of the biggest shooter franchises is Call of Duty, but their multiplayer is what hooks people. And the reason that their multiplayer hooks people is because not only is it fast paced and fun, but you've got all the sort of perk systems. You got Prestige 1, then you're ranking up, trying to get to Prestige 2, 3, and everyone wants to level up and get better prestige. They want to unlock guns, skins, etc. And they've put all this sort of loot boxes to open now as well with the newer ones, which a lot of multiplayer games are starting to do also. And it's things like that make you still want to play, and they've realised that and have sort of tried to entice players to continue playing Titanfall multiplayer. So, I mean, time will tell. I haven't actually seen any live gameplay sort of from Titanfall apart from the trailers. So it'll be good to see how it plays, and good to see how the storyline holds up also. But all in all, Titanfall 2 did look very interesting. Now, one of my favourite parts of the EA conference was FIFA 17, and I love how he started talking about FIFA. He started talking about the best managers in the Premiership, and he mentioned Pep Guardiola, he mentioned Klopp, and he mentioned Wenger. And who comes on stage? Mourinho. Jose Mourinho walks out onto the stage, and they do this little funny skit where they're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't." I obviously Jose Mourinho is also one of the best managers in the world. Sorry, man, I don't write the script. I thought that was pretty funny. So they had a guy come onto the stage and say, he was like, "My name's Alex Hunter, and have you ever watched the players and wanted to be the one going on the pitch, and you wanted to be the one, when you're out in the park with your friends, you're pretending that you're these big players, that you're having your own story." And then he goes, now in FIFA we have the journey, and you're able to come on this journey with me. And they showed the trailer, and the trailer looks absolutely amazing. It's this new story mode, sort of be a pro. It's sort of like a different take on be a pro mode, in terms of you play as one player, Alex Hunter, and it's got a storyline, it's got cutscenes, it's got you're playing your games on the pitch, and then off the pitch you're having conversations, making decisions, and all these decisions are having an effect on on different things. So for example, you might make a decision to play for Man United, like it showed in the trailer. Alex Hunter did. You don't have to play for Man United, but that's the decision he made. And then when you're playing on a pitch, you're obviously being ranked. If you want to get into the good teams like United and you want to play for England, then you need to be playing well on the pitch. You need to be making those decisions off the pitch. And from what I hear, it's going to be similar to Mass Effect in terms of the way you have different dialogue options and you're making decisions that way. That's what I hear. I don't know if that's actually how it's going to be, but that would make a lot of sense. But the journey, if you haven't seen that trailer, FIFA 17, the journey, check it out. It looks absolutely amazing, and it's like a story mode within FIFA. Looks brilliant. Looks brilliant. So there was that, which took, you know, everyone by surprise. And then they went and talked about, well, they showed a trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda. The trailer looks really good. What they're doing with Mass Effect seems really, really good. They're talking about how it's going to be their most open world game, you know, all the different things you can do. We saw a trailer which seemed to have, I think it did have a little bit of gameplay in it. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it had a little bit of gameplay in it. But, you know, it seemed like it was all in-game engine, so it wasn't, you know, like CGI. It was all in-game engine. But my biggest problem is, we saw Mass Effect last year as a trailer. We see it again this year, and granted, it's now in-game, you know, footage, but we've got no gameplay for it. You know, it's been 2 years. It was last year they showed it again this year, and yet still we have no gameplay for Mass Effect Andromeda. I know it was delayed, but you would think they would have shown some gameplay by now, you know. But I guess, you know, time will tell. I'm sure we'll see something soon. I really hope we'll see something soon, because Mass Effect, I mean, to be honest, Mass Effect was one of the games that I was looking forward to the most seeing at E3, and all I saw was the trailer, you know, so I was a little bit disappointed with that. But the game itself looks very good. From what I could tell anyway from the trailer. They had a little section for Star Wars. Now, I like how they did this. They had a whole little section for Star Wars. EA now has the license. So Disney has the license in terms of films and series, and EA's got the license to make the Star Wars games. And now, I mean, obviously they're going to take full advantage of that. And they've got a number of projects going on at the moment. So obviously there was Star Wars Battlefront, which, you know, had mixed reviews. People didn't like the fact they didn't have a story mode, and that there wasn't enough keeping them playing. They've been trying to fix that with the DLCs, bringing out DLCs, but I mean, a lot of people you know, aren't playing it anymore. I've got it. I don't play it as much anymore. I don't have the DLCs. I don't know if I want to pay the money to get the DLCs. I don't know if I'd even continue playing it if I bought the DLCs. So, you know, they've already said how they're going to make sure that the second Battlefront has a storyline, has a story mode, which is good. They should have done a storyline with the first Star Wars Battlefront. They didn't, because they were trying to meet a release schedule in time with the film. But, you know, they're taking the steps now. So from what I saw in the little clip that they showed, it looks like they're trying to make it better, which is good. So EA showed a little clip which went through all the different studios that are making the Star Wars games at the moment. So you got DICE making Battlefront, you got Visceral Games making a Star Wars open world adventure game, and then I can't remember the name of the last studio, but they're also making a open world adventure game also, and they're talking about how they're trying to make different experiences with unique storylines, you know, so that people can get lost in these worlds and have a good time. And we even saw some screenshots from Amy Hemming's game, who's you know, was the director, was the storyline writer at Uncharted, and now she's sort of heading the project for this new Star Wars game at Visceral Games. So I'm very excited for Visceral Games Star Wars game, and they put dates there as well. So they said that the Visceral Games 1 is coming out in 2018. That's ages away. Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be out next year, and I have no idea when the other Star Wars game is coming out. But all in all, it looks like they're taking full advantage of this license that they've got, which is good. Because I mean, I'm all for Star Wars games, because they look, you know, because the Star Wars is such a unique world, and, you know, there's a lot of great stories and a lot of great gameplay that can be had in those worlds. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with that license, but we won't know for a little while. So EA spoke about Star Wars Battlefront DLCs, and they also spoke about an indie game called Fee. Now, you know, I'm all for indie games. Indie games are fun. And this Fee or Faye, however they say it, It actually looks pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. There are a lot of indie games that are coming out that are legitimately good games. They're quite good games. So you know, they only showed a little trailer for it, so we'll see when it comes out. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So overall, EA, I think they had a good conference. They showed a lot of great stuff. Disappointed that they didn't show any gameplay for Mass Effect and they only showed a trailer, but the game itself looked amazing, so I cannot wait for that next year. Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2 looks good, and FIFA 17, I am looking forward to that so much. They also showed Madden NFL, which I didn't really speak that much about, but that also looks good. Not really into Madden, but you know, those of you that are, check out the trailer, it looks very good. But FIFA 17, the new journey mode looks brilliant. I cannot wait for that. All in all, pretty happy with EA's conference, and hopefully, you know, we'll see these games soon. Thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of this video. I'll be doing some more videos talking about Bethesda next, and then Microsoft, Ubisoft, and then Sony. So check out those videos. Also, if you like the video, comment, rate, and subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys.